Climate change is one of the most pressing challenges faced by the world over the past few decades. While the Earth's climate is always changing, the scientific community agrees that humans are major contributors to climate change, and not in a good way. Ever wondered why the weather seems to be going haywire lately? What's causing all of this climate change? Are you curious about what changed our planet's climate throughout history? Forest fires, ozone depletion, and melting ice caps are effects of climate change. You've probably heard the term climate change thrown around a lot, but what exactly causes it? While there are many climate change activists around us, such as Greta Thunberg or Leonardo DiCaprio, there is still a lack of information on the subject. In this video, we'll embark upon a journey to understand climate change and where its origin lies. Make sure to buckle up and listen carefully. In all its grandeur, nature is a mysterious force that has shaped the Earth's climate since time immemorial. It operates on its own rhythm of change, introducing us to a mesmerizing dance of transformation. From the mighty rumblings of volcanic eruptions to the ebb and flow of solar radiation, nature's elements have orchestrated a symphony of climate patterns that have defined the planet's history. Volcanic eruptions, for instance, release colossal amounts of gases, ash and particles into the atmosphere. These volcanic emissions, including sulfur dioxide, SO2, and ash, can linger in the atmosphere for months or even years. As these substances scatter sunlight, they reduce the amount of solar radiation reaching the Earth's surface, leading to a cooling effect. For example, the famous 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia caused the year without a summer in 1816, resulting in unreasonably cold temperatures and crop failures in many parts of the world. Solar radiation, the life-giving energy from the sun, plays a vital role in shaping climate patterns. The sun's energy output is not constant but fluctuates over time. These variations can occur due to changes in the sun's magnetic activity or other astronomical factors. Our planet's orbital variations and axial tilt also profoundly influence climate patterns. The Earth's orbit is not a perfect circle but an ellipse, meaning its distance from the Sun changes throughout the year. This phenomenon, known as eccentricity, occurs over tens of thousands of years and influences the amount of solar energy the Earth receives. Additionally, the tilt of the Earth's axis, which causes the seasons, undergoes slight variations over periods of tens of thousands of years. These subtle shifts affect the distribution of solar radiation and can contribute to significant climate fluctuations, including ice ages. If you don't know what ice ages are, check out the Ice Age movies and you'll know what we're discussing. So while nature has a crucial role in climate change, here's where we come to the picture. While nature has its dance, human activities have undoubtedly cranked up the tempo. Let's enter the era of the Industrial Revolution, which revolutionized our way of life but also introduced significant human-made impact on the climate. Now this is when a steam engine was introduced, cars and trains began running, and trees were being cut exponentially. So, burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and all those shiny industrial activities began releasing enormous amounts of greenhouse gases, or GHGs, into the atmosphere. Let me give you an idea of how bad greenhouse gases are for us. Our planet is wrapped in a giant, invisible blanket called the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, CO2, and methane, or CH4, trap heat in the atmosphere, acting as the Earth's natural heating system. But here's the twist. Our activities have tipped the scales. The increased usage of fossil fuels created an extra release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This excessive release of GHGs into the atmosphere has intensified the greenhouse effect, leading to global warming. And what happens when the Earth begins to heat up? Ice caps start melting faster than ice cream on a hot summer day. Sea levels rise, coastal cities flood, and beautiful coral reefs suffer. Extreme weather events like hurricanes, droughts, and heat waves become more intense and frequent, making our lives much less predictable. But wait, there's more. Global warming doesn't just mess with the weather, it disrupts ecosystems and threatens the survivals of many plant and animal species. It throws a wrench into the delicate balance of nature that took millions of years to fine-tune. But before we point fingers solely at ourselves, let's step back and understand the larger historical backdrop of climate change. It's not some shiny new issue that pops up out of nowhere. Over the course of history, the Earth's climate has experienced ups and downs due to natural factors. Events like volcanic eruptions, shifts in atmospheric composition, and various other influences have all played a role in shaping our climate. However, Here's the interesting twist. In the past few centuries, human activities have emerged as the main driving force behind climate change, stealing the spotlight from these natural factors. Now, what are we doing so bad except using fossil fuels that are causing the Earth to heat up? You might have guessed it, it's deforestation. Cutting down trees has a huge impact on climate change, but why? You might be surprised to learn that cutting down trees also significantly affects climate change. Deforestation, driven by agriculture, logging and urbanization, disrupts the delicate balance. Forests are like carbon superheroes, sucking up CO2 from the atmosphere. When we clear forests, all that stored carbon gets released, strengthening the greenhouse effect. Deforestation messes with rainfall patterns and biodiversity, making climate change impacts even more chaotic. Deforestation also increases soil erosion, reducing the amount of land available for agriculture. So, cutting down trees is bad, as we've learned, but what is the alternative? Why are scientists only telling us what we're doing wrong and not giving us solutions to the issue? But there's more to cause climate change than just deforestation. We have fossil fuels as well. Fossil fuels are the backbone of industrialization and progress, but they come with a price. When we burn coal, oil and natural gas, we release or unleash a frenzy of CO2 emissions into the atmosphere. The ever-increasing concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere has caused temperatures to rise, ice caps to melt, and extreme weather events to become more frequent and intense. This is one of the major reasons why Elon Musk introduced electric cars, to reduce carbon emissions and the burning of fossil fuels. Musk aimed to revolutionize the transportation sector by promoting electric cars and providing a sustainable alternative to conventional gasoline-powered vehicles. Electric cars run on rechargeable batteries and produce zero tailpipe emissions, meaning they don't release harmful pollutants into the air when driven. This starkly contrasts traditional vehicles that emit carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases directly into the atmosphere, exacerbating the climate crisis. However, climate change isn't a simple A to B process. There is more to it than deforestation or fossil fuel burning. It's like a domino effect gone wild. Take the Arctic ice, for example. As the Arctic ice melts away, less of the sun's rays are reflected back into space. You see, the bright white surface of the ice acts like a giant mirror, bouncing sunlight away like a boss. But as the ice disappears and is replaced by darker ocean water, the game changes. Dark water absorbs more sunlight instead of reflecting it, causing further warming of the region. It's like replacing a shiny, heat-repelling shield with a heat-absorbing sponge. But here's the real kicker. This process sets off a positive feedback loop and amplifies the impact of climate change. As the Arctic warms, it releases stored carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere. These greenhouse gases fuel even more warming, and what does more warming do? You guessed it. It melts more ice, releasing more gases, and the cycle continues, spinning us into a dizzying spiral of accelerated climate change. But hold on tight, because that's not all. Climate change can push us over tipping points where irreversible and abrupt changes occur. Imagine the collapse of vital ecosystems like the majestic coral reefs or the mighty Amazon rainforest. These ecosystems provide habitats for countless species, supporting local communities and defend nature against climate change. But if they crumble, the consequences will be devastating. Biodiversity loss, carbon release, and an imbalance in the delicate dance of nature will throw our world out of whack. Climate change is not a black and white process. It's a tangled web of cause and effect, with each action having repercussions that ripple across the planet. The melting Arctic ice creates a domino effect, triggering a positive feedback loop that intensifies climate change impacts, and when tipping points come into play, irreversible and abrupt changes can send us spiraling into an uncertain future. However, we're not completely powerless in this wild ride. There are always methods we can embrace to help the environment. By curbing our greenhouse gas emissions, protecting ecosystems and embracing sustainable practices, we can try to put the brakes on this rollercoaster of climate change. Our planet's future is in our hands, and we can make a difference together. As you may have realized, climate change has a fascinating origin story that intertwines natural variations and human activities. While nature has its own rhythm of change, our contribution to climate change cannot be ignored. The burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and other human-induced alterations have tipped the scales, exacerbating global warming. Armed with knowledge, we can work towards sustainable practices, policies, and clean energy solutions to mitigate and adapt to the impact of climate change. Let's join hands in preserving our planet for future generations and embrace the power of positive change. Together, we can make a difference. Let us know what you think should be done to improve climate change. If you like this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Click the link on your screen to watch our next video about the top 10 most polluted companies in the world. Thank you for watching.